here. And that lets you save. Who cares?
True Form Life.
Green look on.
Welcome to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body. As always, I'm your host, True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. How can you follow along to what we're up to? We have a True Form Facebook page. Go ahead and like us there. You can follow me and find me at Drew Taddia at Twitter. Be sure to check out trueformlife.com. What do we have in store for you today? Today we're talking about machines versus body weight in the gym, and we're talking about expanding your scope of success. All that and so much more coming up on...
This is Exploring Mind and Body with True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert on 96.5 CKFM.
This segment brought to you by Complete Truth Protein Powder. Live free, live true with whole natural foods. No additives, preservatives, soy, gluten, and dairy free. Supplement with superfoods to energize your day. Visit CompleteTruthProtein.co for details.
I work with people that are trying to achieve and or make a change in everyday life. And I'm always looking for small details as to how someone finds success in reaching their end results or goals, if you will. This is continual research, something I don't feel I'll stop looking for anytime soon because this is useful information in all walks of life. As I said at the beginning, everyone is trying to achieve at something. And of course, there's a path to success. If you find a proven path, it can be repeated. Rarely exactly, but if you have the basics and stick to a proven plan, you'll find what you're looking for. You'll see this proven in franchises every time you drive by one. Finances, unfortunately, are one of the first things that keep a person interested in something they're after. I know most people say it's not about the money. They say, I want to do this for me, or money's just paper. It doesn't drive me. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to disagree with each one of these statements. I've proven this time and again when I offer free fitness classes. Very few people show up, if any. Seriously, I know this may be hard to believe, but it's a fact. The same goes for something that's free, repeated. So if I say something like, this class is free, and the next one will be free also. There's no accountability here, which I'll get to in a second. Another method of payment I've proven to be ineffective for both parties is a drop-in fee. Many times people ask me if I take drop-ins. The answer is no. Not because I'm trying to make things as difficult as possible. I do this because it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me because you never know if people will show up. Dropping in once in a while, and it doesn't work for the paying customer because, again, there's no accountability. If someone doesn't feel like going that day, they won't. If they didn't pay and feel unmotivated, they have no reason to go. If they don't sign up in advance, there's no clear commitment to me, their classes, or themselves. And although this may sound like a marketing scheme, it's not the case at all. I run classes because I enjoy them and because they offer results people are after. If there was no positive aspect besides financial gain on my end, I wouldn't run the classes. And the last point concerning finances, I get the direct answer when I ask a client, class member, or friend how they're able to follow through with what they set out to accomplish. And one of the answers every time is, after I sign up and pay money, I'm in for the duration. Most people hold money pretty high up on the scale, and they should. We work hard for our money, so why wouldn't we want to get our money's worth? And why would we want to get cheated or lose out on what we purchased? The answer is simple. We don't, which is why it's a major contributing factor to the scope of success. So again, fees, or in this case, any kind of money, is a very strong motivator in widening the scope of success. Go ahead and check out any research on money bets. It doesn't matter if someone's wealthy or not. You'll see a large increase in success when as little as $50 is on the line. Accountability is the next major factor. Some people need someone to answer to, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just how people are. Think about it. When we go to school, we have a teacher or principal to be accountable for. When we have a job, which most of us do, we have a boss to be accountable to. This accountability is ingrained in us since preschool. We're taught to listen and respect authority figures. On top of that, we have our parents, who at least when we were kids, we were accountable to. I suppose some grown adults are still accountable to their parents, but that's another subject. So why is this any different when we walk into a new realm or new area of life? Well, it really isn't, which is what I'm trying to get across. This accountability to someone else is very important in reaching or widening your scope of success. If you want to get a better grasp of your finances, you can't stop spending your money, or you're a shopaholic. You can hire someone to take care of your finances. You can hire a life coach, or you can have a banker set up automatic withdrawals, which of course would require less accountability. But nonetheless, if we're talking about money, there's someone to be accountable to also. If we're talking about health and fitness, and we can't stay on track, why not hire someone to do that for you? That's what they're there for. Can't find the motivation to get out of bed? Can't make yourself go to a fitness class or go to the gym? Then hire someone who will meet you there and who will expect you to be there when you book an appointment. Most people show up to their appointments, which is why I always recommend when making time for ourselves to book an hour off in your calendar so you actually show up for yourself and don't blow off that workout. And the last subject we're going to talk about concerning widening your scope of success is progress or results, which go hand in hand with everything we just went over. We spend our hard-earned money on someone to be accountable to for what? Most of us need tangible results. We need clear progress. We need to know our efforts, our sweat, money, and sacrifices are paying off. If you're paying a marketing company to handle your advertising and promotions, you can bet whoever's paying the bill wants to see something in return. Is this any different in the health field? Of course not. If we're paying someone to help us lose weight, we better see the scale drop. And if we're paying someone to help us live a healthier lifestyle, it would be a good idea for us to start feeling better in the morning. There are many positives when talking about living healthier, starting to eat better or exercise. Some of these aren't measurable, and some we don't even notice, like when we have more energy or when we're in a better mood. I'd imagine those around us would know more than we would, but those of us paying and sacrificing still want to know. We still want to see clear results. The scale is rarely a good measure. In fact, more times than not, I recommend not weighing at all. So many factors come into play when weighing. It could be the time of day, the time of month, the type of scale, what we ate, what we're wearing. All these factors change what the scale says. These could change from 1 pound to 5, and we put so much pressure on ourselves to lose that 1 pound. It's just not worth it. I highly recommend taking progress pictures. Most people shy away from these because not only do they not want to see themselves, but they can't bear the thought of someone else seeing them in their worst state. Most times than not, those that refuse to take progress pictures say, I wish I took those pictures when we first started. And the last thing I'd recommend when trying to find a way to measure tangible results is a measuring tape. Measure across your chest, waist, which is the smallest part of your torso, hips, which is more so your butt, and measure your thigh. Use the same measuring tape all the time. And try to use the same person to do the measuring, not yourself. Keeping these factors the same will give you a more accurate reading. So that's pretty much it. Look into these factors and you'll increase your scope of success tenfold. Remember, finances are important, progress and results. And we'll tie all that up with accountability to someone other than yourself. Good luck in every aspect of widening your scope of success.
Exploring mind and body with Trueform's Drew Taddia would not be possible without the help from the following sponsors: AG Foods in Didsbury, CLC Fitness Center, Health Street in the Cornerstone Shopping Center Olds, and Shoppers Drug Mart, working together to help build a healthier tomorrow. For more information on Trueform Life, Drew Taddia, or how to become a sponsor of Exploring Mind and Body, visit TrueformLife.com.
In this segment, we're going to talk about victory and defeat. When it comes down to it, we all have to deal with defeat or failure. But if we can find victory in every loss, in every disappointment, we never really lose. As athletes, we have to understand that more times than not, we're going to fail. It sounds harsh, but this is the life we chose. Every season, every game, and every practice, we have to deal with failure. If you're at the gym or practice, we have to exercise or perform reps of a certain exercise until failure to get better. In games, we go through all types of ups and downs, many which can be considered failure. And in the season, there's usually quite a few teams in the league or conference, province or country. So when it comes down to it, there will ultimately be only one champion and a whole lot of defeats. Understanding that failure is a positive thing will help us deal with our athletic careers on many levels. Failure can motivate. It can inspire. It can push you harder than you've ever thought you can be pushed. If you use failure as a tool instead of a crutch, failure can be your best friend in sports. Let failure encourage you to push on. Let every game, lost or point missed, make you work harder off the court or field. Let the doubters doubt. Let people that say you can't carry on with their nonsense and push forward, knowing you're proving them wrong. Michael Jordan was cut from the 8th grade basketball team, devastated at first, but then using failure as a tool to make himself the hardest worker there was in the game. From Oprah Winfrey to Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, people that have accomplished great things have all dealt with failure. Those that became great used failure to push them further. Those that let failure control their emotions don't have names that anyone would recognize or remember. It's important for us to learn to deal with failure at a younger age. The more you condition yourselves to deal with failure, the better off you'll be. We've all seen those athletes that can't control their emotions. The ones that yell at the refs or umpires, the ones that break their stick on the ice or break down crying on the bench. If you can control each and every failure and work on this now, you'll be able to turn those small failures into tiny successes. You'll be able to turn a bunch of tiny successes into giant feats. It all begins with your mindset and your mental approach to the game. If you already know going into a game, you're going to have to deal with failure, then you're already mentally prepared for the ups and downs. If you're expecting everything to go perfectly, then you may be setting yourself for disaster. Don't get me wrong here. We should all expect to be at our best. We should expect to dominate our opponents because of all the hard work we're putting in on and off the court. But we also need to be able to mentally handle things that may not go right. If you're prepared physically and mentally, there's a good chance you'll be that much better than your opponent, especially those that don't understand the mindset and those that don't know how to deal with failure. If you're able to change your mindset and perception of failure being a bad thing and understand that it's a good thing, because now you'll use it as a tool, you'll have that edge over the competition every athlete is looking for.
This segment brought to you by True Form Fitness for all your health and fitness needs. Personal training and group classes available locally. Visit trueformlife.com for details.
Free weights over machines. Which works better? Which is more effective? Which will give you more results? Who likes what? In this segment, I'm going to talk about why machines are played out and the benefits of body weight exercises. I'll also go over why machines can be of use, but for the most part, machines aren't getting much credit in the next few minutes. It puzzles me when I see certain people using machines. For the most part, I'm puzzled when anyone uses machines, but I suppose it's not their fault. I'll get to that in a second. Machines can be used for good, but they shouldn't be used frequently. If a person needs the support of a machine for whatever reason, this might be a good idea. Like if they need a slow, controlled movement, maybe for rehab, or maybe, well, that's actually all I can think of. The real reason people use machines is because they think they're supposed to. That's what we picture when we think of a gym, isn't it? We think of a lat pull-down machine. We think of a hamstring curl or a leg press maybe. I'd like to make it clear, I'm not talking about cardio machines here. I'm not talking about treadmills, ellipticals, or stair climbers. I'm talking about those old machines bodybuilders used to clang around weights in the old days. Bodybuilders still use them, and that's exactly what they're for bodybuilders. These machines were meant for a couple different things. Number one, to isolate a muscle group, and number two, to stack on a bunch of weight with the goal of gaining mass. Now, for the most part, and I do stress, for the most part, the average person isn't looking to isolate a muscle, nor are they looking to gain a bunch of mass. Therefore, these machines don't have much use. I understand that targeted gyms used to be, and still is in part, those men that want to get huge muscles and walk around in tank tops, but I can't say that's the case anymore. More people are looking to live a healthier lifestyle. More people are joining classes, exercising outside, or performing functional exercises that we use in everyday life. Why would a beginner start using machines? I have no idea. Why would a trainer use machines on their clients? There's not a whole lot of reasons other than they're trying to target a specific area or they need a change from regular routines. Other than that, there's a whole lot more benefit out of performing multifunctional exercises. What is a multifunctional exercise? Let's take a bicep curl, for example, and label it under the old school section. What this exercise does is isolate the bicep, and that's about it. The sole purpose of this bicep curl is to work out the bicep. Now let's take a multifunctional exercise. How about a squat curl press? You can grab dumbbells, a weighted medicine ball, or even a Bosu ball. Doesn't much matter what prop you use. What you're going to do is hold whichever prop you decide in your hands. Then you're going to squat, curl the prop up, and when you rise up from your squat position, you're going to press the prop over your head. Let's go through what this is actually doing. With the squat, we're working out our quads, hamstrings, and glutes. Then when we curl, we're working out our bicep. Then when we press the prop over our head, we're working out our shoulders and core. So as you can see, this is a multifunctional exercise. Not only are we working out multiple muscles in this one exercise, but it's functional because this is something we could benefit from in everyday life. Think about picking up a box and putting it on a shelf. Think about lifting your child up while playing, or taking something down that's located higher up in an area. As you can tell, I highly recommend the multifunctional exercises for many reasons, especially because it's more efficient and more effective. I hate to sound like I'm knocking machines, but the fact of the matter is, machines are the old mindset.